And by implementing our activities of circular change, we are doing this for the last 5 years, looking forward to join forces with other stakeholders and move forward. So one of those who are collaborating already with Slovenia is the Climate-KIC. I'm very happy now to introduce you our keynote speaker, Kirsten Dunlop, Chief Executive Officer, EIT Climate-KIC. Kirsten's career spans academia, consulting, banking, insurance, strategy, design, innovation, and leadership across 3 continents. So she is definitely someone who can give us a systemic view on that, what is needed to lead a country like Slovenia towards circular transition. Please, Kirsten, can you join us and share your thoughts? And of course, afterwards, we will have an opportunity to set some questions. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Nadia, and good afternoon, everybody. It's an enormous privilege and a pleasure to be joining you and able to provide some thoughts into the beginnings of the proceedings for this afternoon. I would first of all like to start by thanking and complimenting Nadia, first of all, for what has been a long journey to this point, and for what is a particularly visionary leadership with circular change of the way in which Slovenia has taken forward a focus on circularity. asking for evidence of action, a complete requalification of the value of working in traditional industries and innovating and translating them through to a modern world of very deliberate, designed use, reuse, requalification, tracing, and reinvention of every single thing you touch. Similar examples are evident in the way in which Slovenia can deal with minerals extraction, processing, manufacturing, and of course the implications downstream in the design of urban transport and the design of cities and their relationship with rural landscapes and the opportunities there. So the celebration that I would bring to open this session is one of acknowledging the power of bringing many different parties together, the power of having designed a program of work with every single key decision maker involved, or many of the key decision makers involved, and the opportunity to think of circular design, circular manufacturing, circular processing, circular waste management, circular regeneration, not only as technical instances of change along each of the points of individual value chains, but as a framing mechanism to pull multiple value chains together and to think of the unlooked for synergies in encompassing them and connecting them. And some of the best examples in the world start with a program of a similar courage and boldness in terms of interdisciplinarity that have resulted in multiple value chains, but also multiple cash flows and multiple points of economic stimulus beginning to braid together like strands in a plait of hair and creating value for all involved in the short, in the medium, and in the long term. I would reflect on the fact that in terms of program of work that is sitting at the heart of today's event and multiple programs through multiple efforts and synergies that have come and led to this point, there are opportunities here in terms of not only accessing funding at a time of an extraordinary and unprecedented investment of public money in transformation, but as accessing it in a way that is specifically responding to the need and the call for a much more holistic, cross-industry, cross-sectoral, and cross-party engagement. There is an opportunity here to access networks in unprecedented ways, to source innovation, to source partnerships, to source ideas, and above all, to source inspiration and a sense of pride. And I know you'll hear from other representatives of national and international partnerships that sit at the heart of this. There is an opportunity here to showcase Slovenia's capabilities, its excellence and its leadership all over Europe and indeed globally, above all because on a global stage and on a European stage, there is such a felt need for concrete examples of what the word circular economy, what the word circularity looks like in practice. And in turn, that brings an opportunity to attract talent, to retain talent, to inspire and to connect hearts and minds together with practical needs and concerns, and to locate those in a sense of local benefit for every single stakeholder within the community. And given that Horizon Europe context in which we are building towards is one that places the notion of mission-led transformation and mission-led innovation at the heart of Europe's next 7 years, this particular initiative is incredibly timely as a way of bringing citizens on the streets, residents in homes and neighbourhoods and communities concerned about survival, resilience, even just the simple things of working out how to deal with the taxing load of emotional resilience and well-being, and how to make very practical connections with what does that change in the products available in supermarkets, in the choices that are available to citizens thinking about the design, the requalification, the change to local community, in the ways in which generations can have conversations, meaningful conversations with one another about product development, around jobs and new jobs, and around thinking about the future of industry and society together in Slovenia in the same way. That's an extraordinary vision. It's a necessary vision. The missing piece in dealing with circularity and turning it into something very practical is the opportunity to work across multiple different sectors, job types, and sets of interests simultaneously in real places, connecting to real needs and opportunities for change. And I think that's very much what is afoot in Slovenia. EIT Climate-KIC, EIT Raw Materials, and the EIT community more generally is enormously proud to be able to contribute practical ideas, networks, access, and support for this kind of initiative. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kirsten, for this great, inspiring speech. I could not imagine better opening of our event than the one that you have just shared with us. So one question for you. You nicely pointed out how this holistic view is needed and important, and how there is actually opportunity for everyone to participate and contribute, because we know that we are still thinking like, okay, what is in it for me? Or I am a loser and I'm a winner, and there is this competition running on. But as you have nicely pointed, it is more about collaboration, about well-being for everyone, and this is what is said also in Green Deal. So maybe if you just wrap it up with, let's say, 3 key ingredients now for Slovenia to make this vision a reality. So what should we focus on? 3 things, because it's easy to remember. I know it's hard, but let's try.
No problem whatsoever. I think the first of them would be a shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. When we have constructed our economies, we have constructed the notion that every single thing we use has only one property, or at least relatively few properties. One of the extraordinary opportunities of thinking in terms of circular economy is to start to ask ourselves, what are all the ways in which we can use wood? What are all the ways in which we can think about land differently? What are all the ways in which we can think about fibers, materials of any sort, and begin to really expand our understanding of what is possible when we start to use and reuse and design for multiple uses by multiple different parts. We have extraordinary examples across the world of where that has begun to happen. Rarely has it happened at the scale of 5 major industries and a whole country. And here there is a real opportunity to shift our underlying understanding of the richness of possibility. So abundance would be my first. Look for abundant opportunities when we start to dig into the properties of the materials that we extract from the ground and from the natural environment and put to use in our world. And the jobs, the proliferation of jobs around the world. The second is participation. I think your call for co-creation is absolutely at the center of this. The way in which we take responsibility, the notion of a producer end-of-life responsibility, that any single thing we touch at any point of any industry, we take responsibility for the beginning, the middle, and the end. That creates a set of interlinked obligations and interlinked opportunities, and it creates a fabric for sharing and working together on those solutions in a way that, again, opens up opportunity for new jobs, opens up opportunities for multiple types of jobs working together, and for the innovation, benefit of innovation that comes ultimately from diverse thinking in different perspectives. So participation would be the second. And the third, pragmatism. Circular economy is an often abstract concept, sometimes very concrete, but very often seems abstract. Ultimately, it translates down to very practical things. These materials, how far do they go? This use of digital technology, to what extent can we harness it to trace every single element down to individual DNA strands, to the whole length of their life and their reuse and their reconsideration? To what extent can we reconceive of the way in which we think about our ways of living, our ways of working? But here we must start with very pragmatic views on exactly what happens from here to here, what happens from there to A, from A to B, from B to C, from C to D. This notion of pragmatism, grounding always what we do in the consequences of actions, that is absolutely essential. So I would say abundance. This is an opportunity to broaden and shift our thinking about efficiency and start to think in terms of effectiveness at the core of our economies and our societies. Participation, co-creation, co-sharing. This program of work is the result of an extraordinary 2 years of co-creation with Slovenian ministries across all parts of the spectrum. and is leading to a precedent and an opportunity for participation with Slovenian citizens, residents, industries, small and medium enterprises, university students at all corners. And pragmatism, starting always from the beginning and from middle and from the end, and looking for consequences and connections.
Thank you very much, Kirsten. I think that we should keep this in mind, these three words and the meaning behind abundance, participation, and pragmatism. It is really important because this is exactly this shift in the mindset that we are promoting today in this event. So thank you very much. Looking forward to collaboration in Slovenia with other stakeholders as well.